call is now being recorded.
Okay, so where were we?
I just want to get some background information first to make sure that I've got my bases covered and that I have the basic information. Before you sustained your injuries, you'd volunteered and signed a release to be an attack dummy for legitimate. Is that right?
Yes, I did.
All right, and your injuries were sustained by during the first demonstration given by third-degree black belt lead instructor Anonymity. Is that correct?
Yes, it was the basis we were having in class.
All right, and you were not wearing a protective cuff?
No, I was just wearing a suit that they gave me. They gave me a big padded suit to protect me, and...
Okay, so the suit did not include a cuff?
No, no.
All right. Now, just to make sure I'm correct in regards to the extent of your injuries, and if I'm being a bit too blunt, please let me know. Both of your testicles were completely ruptured and had to be removed.
Sorry, that's a little embarrassing. Who are you again?
I'm actually calling I'm calling on behalf of the company. They wanted me to call and get the bases covered so I can just get from you the information for them. They told you I was calling?
Oh, okay.
Yes, again, I'm sorry if I'm being too blunt. I mean, I know I am calling for the company, but I do understand this is a very delicate situation and I don't want to make you more uncomfortable than you're probably going to be from having to go to the doctor and everything else. All right.
Are you like their lawyer, or?
I'm a part of their legal team, yes.
Okay. Well, just so you know, I'm about to sue your asses off.
I have been informed of that, yes. That's why I'm calling, and I'm supposed to be getting our bases covered as well.
Yeah, I'm going to own that business by the end of it.
All right, but so am I correct on the extent of your injuries?
Yes, that's correct.
All right. Now, you're aware that the waiver you signed does, in fact, actually stop you, your spouse, or any of your family from being allowed to sue the company for any injury, emasculation, or death caused on your part or the company's, correct?
Sorry, why can't I sue?
If you like, I can actually send you a copy of the waiver, or I can get in contact with the main branch of the company and have them send you a copy of the waiver that you signed. But from my readings through it, it looks like you actually wouldn't be able to. Let me see here. According to Article 1 of the waiver you signed, it specifically states, I hereby release, waive, discharge, and covenant not to sue LSDCU, the YWCA, their officers, agents, or employees hereinafter referred to as releases from any and all liability, claims, actions, and causes of action whatsoever arising out of or related to any loss, damage, or injury, including death, blindness, deafness, infertility, emasculation that may be caused to me or any property belonging to me while participating in such activity, while in, on, or upon the premises where the activities are being conducted, regardless of whether such loss is caused by, let me go ahead and turn the page, regardless of whether such loss is caused by the negligence of the releases or otherwise, and regardless of whether such liability arises in tort, contract, strict liability, or otherwise to the fullest extent allowed by the law.
Well, you can't just break somebody's balls just because you get them to sign a standard liability waiver.
And I understand that it is a very painful injury, and I completely understand why you're angry. However, I do also need to inform you that the liability waiver also states, I assume full responsibility for any injury I sustain as a result of being engaged in such activities, whether they caused by the negligence of releases or otherwise to the fullest extent allowed by the law. And according to Article 4, I agree to properly wear the provided padded suit in addition to a correctly fitted athletic cup that I must purchase and provide myself in advance of the activities. And in Article 5, it further states, I further hereby agree to indemnify and hold harmless the releases from any loss, liability, damage, or costs, including court costs and attorney fees that the releases may incur due to my participation in said activities. Now, I understand why you're angry, and I'm going to be honest with you. I can't tell you you're not allowed to sue. Nobody can. It's a free country. You are fully allowed to sue with a lawsuit if you wish. That's part of your rights as a human being. However, before you do, I do want to inform you that if you do, what you're really going to be hurting yourself in the long run. Like I said earlier, I can't force you to sue. No one can, but I am going to inform you. It would be a waste of your time, your money, and actually would waste a bit more of your money since, according to the contract you signed, by the end of the case, you would be responsible for the company's court costs and attorney's fees as well, and would only further publicize the extent of your injuries.
Nobody told me any of this.
It should have been in the waiver that you signed in the very beginning before you were actually allowed to participate as an attack dummy. Did you not read the waiver?
Well, they just said it was a liability waiver, and I've seen a liability waiver before.
Yeah, I understand that it is unfortunate, and like I said, I can't stop you from trying to sue, but I did need to inform you the extent of the waiver, and I did need to let you know about it, and if you like I said, I can send you a copy of the full waiver for you to completely read through. Reading through it, I'm going to be honest, I've read through the waiver, and essentially it's going to keep you from pretty much having a case.
This is bullshit.
I do completely understand your anger. Would you like me to have them send you a copy of the waiver for you to read through yourself?
Yeah, I have a copy of the waiver. I just haven't read it. I've seen a liability waiver before.
Yes, and normally liability waivers are generally the same. However, certain ones can be very specific to specific companies. All right, sir, and it looks like that is all I have for you today. I hope you do have a great day. And is there anything else that you would like to go over with me before we let go?
I'm gonna sue you bastards for $1 million. Do you have any idea what it's like having your testicles crushed in front of an entirely real woman?
No, I can't say I do, and like I said, I am actually very sorry for the pain you went through. I just had to inform you of the statements of the waiver and let you know that what would happen if you do try and sue. But like I said, you are fully in your power and right as a human being and an American to attempt to try and sue if that's what you wish. I just had to let you know that according to the waiver, it will not end up winning.
I don't understand what has the waiver got to do with anything?
Because of the waiver you signed, it does say that you had to provide your own cup. Any that you got due to negligence on the company's part or your part, they could not be sued for. It was specifically in the waiver that you could not sue them for any injury, loss, damage, including death, blindness, deafness, infertility, emasculation, or any other sort of injury that you could have sustained.
What the hell is emasculation?
Emasculation. It could cover a variety of things such as crushed testicles, crushed penile shaft, things like that.
Well, they said they were going to have a padded suit, though, for safety. That suit didn't do jack shit.
The suit is padded, and actually, if you look at the liability waiver, it will actually state, and I believe it's Article 5, that while the suit is padded around the groin area, that is actually for the instructor's safety against the cup that you're supposed to wear.
So they gave me a suit that didn't do anything to protect my testicles, and now they're not going to let me sue, or? The suit wouldn't do anything without a cup, no. And that's actually why in the waiver it states that you were supposed to provide your own cup. Nobody reads those things.
There is a very specific reason for the statement, read the fine print. Unfortunately, not reading it in this case was not a good idea.
Oh my God. You bitches tricked me with little fine print, and then broke my balls, and now you're not even gonna, pay for my hospital bills or anything?
I'm sorry, sir. I'm just here to let you know what exactly the waiver says. Let you know that you are allowed to attempt to try and go through the lawsuit, but it will not end up going in your favor.
Well, this is extremely embarrassing for me to admit, like, in a public setting, but the hospital bills are so much. I'm at least going to sue you for that much, even if it's embarrassing to stand up in court and admit what happened.
I do completely understand, and like I said, you are within your rights to attempt to sue. I am just here to let you know that it will end up not going your way, and by the end of it, because of the waiver you signed, you will actually be held accountable for the company's attorney and court fees.
God damn it. I can't catch a break.
All right, sir. It looks like that was everything that I had to go over with you today. I really do hope that you have a great day and that your day does get better.
Oh, we're going to have a great day.
Things can always get better, sir. Goodbye.